Good evening. Welcome back to Netball Central for another week of the 2017 Samsung Premier League. I'm Brittany Carter, your host for round 10 on Bar TV tonight. We're waiting for the Sutherland Stingrays and Central Coast Heart to take the show court. The Opens are up first in a pretty crucial game. With just 5 rounds to go, Central Coast are still looking to crack the top 4. They've been given the toughest draw. Earlier in the season, they faced the top 4 teams in a row and lost by just 1 goal to 3 of them. And it just so happens they're in the middle of that second row of those tough fixtures right now. But last week they turned their luck against the Erna Hawks, beating the second place team by 9. So they come into this game rather confident and hoping to change the luck they had against Sutherland back in round 3. Meanwhile, the Sutherland Stingrays are in a comfortable position. They were last year's champs, and as we head towards the business end, they're currently placed 4th. They've got class and experience, and of course they'd like to go back-to-back. And they've got some players back from injury that they were missing last time they came up against Central Coast. So with those players back and some hard training sessions completed this week, they're looking forward to proving why they're the team with such a big target on their back. Let's look at the lineups for tonight. Mel Talent already scoring a goal, is in goal shooter for the Stingrays. Braden Quince is in goal attack. Maddie Woods and Maddie Hay pair in the midcourt, with Maddie Woods in wing attack and Maddie Hay in centre. Danae Van Tack is in wing defence. Sarah Tatum goal defence, and Cassie Radford in goalkeeper to round out the Sutherland Stingrays team. Taking a look at the Central Coast lineup, we've got Maddie Taylor in goal shooter, Amy Wild, their captain tonight, in goal attack, Kristen Kessler's in wing attack, Demi Evans in centre, Alicia Walsh in wing defence, and up the defence end we've got Laura Roger in goal defence and Leanne Grevenitz in goalkeeper. Lovely work on the circle edge for Central Coast. Quick work between the centre and goal attack. Quince and Maddie Hay, and Mel Talent with a shot. Long and loopy, but through the hoop. A few fake passes there. Same with Demi Evans. Another for Maddie Taylor. Fantastic work by Laura Roger, just in front, but I'm unable to pull the ball in. Quick work from Mel Talent, spills into Central Coast hands. Great feed from Kessler, picking the right option. And Wild under the hoop. Fantastic work by Maddie Taylor just there. Central Coast quick to jump on that ball. Laura Rogers already played a pretty important role. Taylor in front. They've come out strong in this first quarter. And we've got under 10 minutes of play left to go. Harder up by 3. Lots of work being done by Amy Wild off the ball. Moving from the pocket into the shooting circle. And offloading to Taylor. Quince just dropping back and allowing some space for Maddie Hay to push the ball over the top. Noel Talent doing everything in her power to try and win the ball back. Not successful at this stage. Central Coast struggling to push it up through the midcourt. Now go back. Lots of work being done off the ball to try and find these spaces, but Sutherland's defence is really good at the moment. Emmons looking to use Kessler top of the circle. Nice little triangle there. And Taylor finishes the job. Oh, Taylor just first to it. Almost like a mark AFL style. Great eye for the ball. Kessler doing extra work to get around her defender. Alicia Walsh just holding strong, trying to keep Kessler out of the play. Evans with a little fakey and into Taylor. Hay to Quince, again over the top of the defenders. Just keeping an eye on the ball as it lobs over might help. Long arms, Taylor pulling it in. Now they're going to have to work hard to get... Oh, there we go, Taylor up and in again. Just finding space between the two defenders, almost like Piggy in the middle and jumping high, being able to pull those higher lobs in with the long arms. Queen's lucky to keep that in her hands. Driving backwards, Taylor right under the post. Managing to keep her balance on tippy toes. She's lost it though. That was a good effort. Radford. And defenders just struggling to get it through the mid-court at the stage. Talent up and over to Hay. Quince is there in the pocket. Some good work from Sutherland. They've come back a bit. Central Coast were definitely the stronger side in the first 5 minutes or so. Now with 5 minutes to go, there's only 4 goals difference. Make that 3. Good drive from Kessler. Wild. Hasn't got any options. Taylor gives her one, popping out. Now they can't get back into under the hoop. Wild just cutting through the defenders from the back of the post. Some hard running. Good contest between Maddie Woods and Alicia Walsh happening at the Stingrays end. Deficit still 3. Nice arm from Radford with the outside hands. Just couldn't pull it in. But did well to disrupt the play. Nice work by Wild, just popping out the baseline. Rebound from Taylor. Finishing the job. Long bomb to Mel Talent. She's stuck in the pocket. Pins. Talent in overdrive, trying to get around Roger. Or Grevenitz, I should say. She's doing well to contain Talent. Two and a half minutes left in the first quarter. Again, nice work on the circle edge by the Hart. Up by 4 now. Oh, well done. Alicia Walsh with a turnover. She's been able to beat Maddie Woods a number of times now, but just hasn't been able to take the ball back. Oh, well done, Taylor. Just taking the ball sideways, able to get around the defender's arms. And with a minute and a half left, the Central Coast harder up by 5. This is a good lead for the first break. Nice work between Wild and Taylor. And Taylor will try to go again, but now she's restricted and she's popped out the back. Some quick passing from Sutherland, trying to get some points before this break. Fantastic work by Mel Talent, just losing her balance as she falls over the baseline. And now Quince will take it to the post. Popped out, popped back in. 19-12. Less than a minute on the clock. Good switch. And that was some good work from Sarah Tatum. She couldn't exactly stop the ball going to Taylor, but she did make it difficult. Queen's in front. So with seconds to go in this first quarter, it'll be the Heart that are up by 6 points. And they've been strong, the Heart. They've come out of the blocks firing. Shown they're real contenders for this game. Sutherland are going to need to be a bit stronger on the ball and finding space, driving onto it instead of away from it. They're getting stuck in a huddle and behind the Central Coast defenders. But we might just have a look at the table so far for the competition. So you can see that Manly Warringah are up on top with 14 points. The Yerna Hawks not far behind, 13. They've just had a draw instead of a win. UTS St George in 12, tied with Sutherland. The only thing that's separating them is obviously the for and against and goal percentage at the back. So that's important. Central Coast Heart here tonight against Sutherland in 5th. And you can see that their for and against is a little bit lower than Sutherland's too. So that's really important and something that their coach Amber Cross is trying to work on, considering they missed out on semis last year just by for and against. So you can imagine going the whole season and just losing by, you know, such a fraction of a point even. It's not even a point that really, a full one that separates 4 of those teams, even 5. You've got North Shore United in 6th, and they tied with GWS Fury on 6 points in 7th spot. And the Panthers down the bottom haven't been able to win a game so far. They've only got 1 point to their name after they managed to draw. And that's how the competition currently sits at the moment. So looking at the other games, on court 1 you've got GWS Fury and UTS St George Sparks tonight. You can watch that on Bar TV if you're accidentally watching this stream. You can click over to that one now. That one's live as well. On court 2, the Panthers and the Manly Warringah Sapphires are doing battle. And then on court 3, we've got North Shore United and the Yerna Hawks. Coming back for the second quarter now. Central Coast are up by 6 points. And they've made no changes to their side. We've seen 2 changes made to the Sutherland Stingrays side in the wing defence and goal defence position. And we'll have to bring you those changes at the halftime break. So the Heart first points. Amy Wild, baseline, one-legged. Hay to Talent. Talent just popping up to the edge of the circle. Taylor doing well just to push out forwards towards Demi Evans for the feed. So I'm not sure what's happening with the scoreboard. There we go, a bit of a delayed response. 21-14. Talent's down. Looks okay. Lovely feed from Hay. Finding Mel Talent at the back. Just able to push the ball through the clutter of the middle. And Graveness has got a hand to it. No, long arms. (22-16), the Heart lead. Oh. That great contest between Walsh and Wood still happening. Some good work from Woods into Talent. Fast. Before the Central Coast Heart defenders could work out what was going on. Taylor in between 2 Ray defenders. Still able to find the ball. Mel calling for it. Just had to pop around the back, but able to find space. Wild doing well to jump on the loose ball, almost deflected Maddie Taylor's way. Gravenet's not on Mel Talent. Defenders are switched and Gravenet's unable to switch quickly enough. It's just a little bit of miscommunication happening there. Good turnover. just getting a hand to it. Now Woods is looking for an option. Well done by Grevenitz. Watched the ball, only had eyes for it. Kessler, lovely drive. A nice connection between the two shooters again. So Central Coast Heart just seem to be a little bit faster with their passes and gameplay. Lovely shooting by Mel Talent. Kessler, quick little lob over to Taylor. She makes light use of it. 28-20, the Heart now lead the Stingrays. Got just under 7 minutes till half time. And Taylor again. A target under the hoop. Come to the call from the wing defence. Foot was out. Well done, Maddie Hay, stealing the ball back. And now Mel Talent will get a free shot in front. Now that connection between Kessler and Taylor is on point. Mel Talent forced to come way out of the circle. Just proves how relentless Central Coast have been in defence, limiting Sutherland's options. Laura Roger doing really well to jump on that pass. Almost a drop. Grevenitz doing well to contain two. Hand to it now. See Walsh pick it up. Popped out of Wild's hands, but she regathers it. Taylor over the top of the circle. Evans to Wild under the post. Great work from Kessler. And Taylor pushes it to 31. fast works from Sutherland there. It was good play. Meltown will have to take it though. No problems anyway, still gets the points. 31-23, we've got 3.5 minutes. Alicia Walsh looks okay. Bad collision between the two Central Coast players. Lovely work. Kessler feeding to Wild. And Taylor will go for the rebounds. Lots of yelling being done. There's 2.5 minutes before we hit half-time. The Stingrays know how crucial these points are. Little fakey back to Walsh. Kessler driving hard into the pocket. She's got it to Taylor on the baseline. Quick points. They're now 11 points in front of the Stingrays. Walsh hand to it. Keeps it in play. It's incredible. Laura Roger unable to do the same on the other side of the court. Grevenet's hands just a fraction too slow, but she's on the rebounds. We've got a minute here, Central Coast. Evans, quick ball into Taylor, juggles it a bit but contains it. Oh, did well to get those rebounds back. Taylor jumping for it, getting a hand to it, pushing it into Wild's hands. It's another to Taylor's name. There we go at halftime. Central Coast lead 37-24. I think we expected a tough game and a competitive one, but not this at halftime. Stingrays were definitely the favourites heading into this game. So we received some sad news this week with Rob Wright deciding he's going to leave the New South Wales Swifts. And we've got a message for you now from Rob to say farewell. And apologies, we've just got some little bugs in the system. We couldn't get the Rob Wright video to work, but you can definitely find it on the New South Wales Swifts website or at Netball New South Wales TV. So Rob Wright was the first male coach in the Trans-Tasman League, and unfortunately he has cited personal reasons for the decision to quit the Swifts and will move overseas after he leaves the Swift at the end of the month. I think he finishes up the 25th of August before he'll come back and fulfil his commitments as an assistant to the Australian Fast 5 team. And so he coached the Swifts for 4 years and led the club to back-to-back grand finals in 2015 and 2016. He coached 61 matches in the ANZ Championship and Super Netball, 56% win rate. You can tell how dominant he was in that era. And he was always very invested in young talent. We used to see him, or maybe not so much in the future now, but we used to see him a lot here at the Premier League, watching the younger girls, even if he'd been training the Swifts throughout the day. Very committed. And Paige Hadley in particular will feel his loss, and she put a nice little tribute up on Twitter. He plucked her as a young girl training for trials at state, and look where she is now, an Australian Diamond. So thanks, Rob, for everything you've done for the game, and we'll miss you greatly. As we head into the third quarter of this game, the Heart are up by 13 points, which is a massive difference. Sutherland got up over them by just 1 goal. The last time they played back in round 3. And we've seen a lot of changes to the Sutherland side as they head back out now. There's only Maddie Hayes sticking in centre from the original lineup they put out in the court for the first quarter. We've seen Mel Talent push out from goal shooter into goal attack. And in the shooting circle with her, Laura Davenport comes on for the first time tonight. Lily Gorman-Brown is now in wing attack. Kane Maguire is in goal defence. And she's got Sarah Tatum with her in goalkeeper. And the other change is that Tony Anderson is in wing defence now. So wing defence and goal defence have, in Tony Anderson and Katie Maguire, have been on the court since the last quarter. Just had to confirm that at the halftime break. And Central Coast remains unchanged. I can't see why you would make any changes considering how dominant they've been in this game. First to score in this third quarter too off a Sutherland centre. That's a really good sign. Like another opportunity to head up their attacking end. Taylor still stuck in the middle of 2 defenders. Still able to clutch it from the air. And Sutherland are really going to have to limit the amount that she gets the ball in this game if they have any hopes of winning it. She's been very dominant. Scored the majority of the 39 points on the board for the Heart. Quick work between the shooters. Kessler forced back, trying to get it to Roger. This time, Sarah Tatum's got a hand to it. Roger. She's been really good in defence. Pops out. She's straight onto it. Walsh over to Grevenitz. Head up the court. Rogers lost control of it. And although she was able to step out to the side, the Sutherland player picked it up. Lovely pass back between Gorman, Brown and Talent. Good pressure from the Central Coast. They've already got 40 points on the board. We know in this competition you need to score in the 50s usually to get some sort of win or keep it competitive. And we're only in the third quarter, so pretty high scoring really. Wow, driving. Evans, fed to Taylor. And Sarah Tatum's really going to need to get in front of Taylor. Taylor still in front. She's got space. Kessler choosing to go with Wild instead. Probably the safer option. Lovely goal. Less than 10 minutes to go before the last break of the game. Talent thinks she's been Hyundai by. Maddie Hay comes away with it somehow. Smiling and she's happy about that. Too big. Sutherland down. By a pretty high deficit in this third quarter, need to contain their passes. Use a safer option. Somehow Central Coast comes back up with that. Some girls still in their school uniform. Sutherland are trying everything in their power to disrupt their play. But Central Coast is still able to get it back each time. Fake of the pass by Roger. Offloads to Grevenitz. And Kessler has to go back to Roger. Wild. Again, forced to go horizontal. Evans. Over the top to Taylor. That was a good feed. Quick work from Sutherland. So they can score points quite quickly. Just need to make sure the passage of play makes it to the shooters. Nice work from Maddie Hay. Oh, well done. And Sarah Tatum certainly working hard in that goal-keeping position. Central Coast back with it again. Just been so dominant tonight as they make a mistake. Talent, finding space. Textbook shooting, lovely work. No options, forced back into the midcourt. Good use of the body by Maddie Hay, just getting around Evans. Laura Roger comes up with it again. Tip from Maddie Hay, doesn't disrupt the ball going to Walsh. Nice work between Kessler and Walsh with the pass back. Taylor, top of the circle, passes to Wild in the pocket. How does she get it every time? Grasp on the ball and the eye for it isn't just incredible. She's going to come off. Talent, taking it to the post. Lovely shot. And so Carly Lean-Broggin's now in the goal shooting bid. Wild. Great effort from Katie Maguire. It has popped out the side. Lean-Brogin. Lovely shot. Swish. Didn't touch the edges. Just one goal off 50 now, the Heart. With 3 minutes of play in this third quarter. Over the top, Walsh getting a hand to it. Did well to ensure that she touched it in the air and didn't go offside. Talent, again shooting the baseline. Well done. Lily Gorman-Brown coming up with the ball. Some sort of intercept. Oh, fantastic rebounds. Gravenitz to Roger. Walsh. Evans driving forward. To Roger. Almost colliding with Mel Talent there. Kessler. Quick work between Wild. And Lee Bruggen finds some space. Unable to take the rebounds. Mel Talent still able to find the ball pretty easily. Oh, well done. Great work by Laura Roger, just in front of Mel Talent. Evans, pocket, too big. Just over the top of Wild and outside. We've got 30 seconds on the clock. Quick work, Sutherland Stingrays hoping to secure another point. They've done so, 49-33. Trailing by 16 goals. Pops out. And that'll be the way they finish up the third. 6 goals in front. It's a pretty hefty lead. 3 points more than they did in the middle break at halftime. And we've just got some announcements for both of the clubs before we bring you the fourth quarter. So next Monday night, the 7th of August, Central Coast are holding an open training session for local coaches to come along. If you're from Wyong, Gosford or the Woy Woy Association, it's a free opportunity to see the Opens training and how their coaching staff run such sessions. And in 2 weeks' time, on Sunday the 20th of August, Central Coast will also be running free clinics for 9 to 10-year-old netballers in the area. So you can head to the website and the Facebook page to book in for both of those events, the coaching clinic and the free clinic for 9 to 10-year-old netballers. www.centralcoastheart.com.au. And the shout-outs for the Sutherland Stingrays. There's a function here tonight. You can see the balloons up the back of the court. So a lot of the supporters of the Sutherland Stingrays are up there enjoying some food as they watch the girls play on the show court here. And if you want to get behind the local girls, you should come out and support them. Maria Lynch is very keen for you to do so, the coach. We've got 4 rounds after this before we hit the semi-finals, and almost every game that the Sutherland Stingrays play is really good quality, so I'd encourage you to do so. They've also been running a lot of coaching clinics and junior Stingrays clinics in the Shire this winter, which have all gone really well, And they're just trying to give back to the community as much as they can. So there's more on their website, www.stingrays.ssna.asn.au. Just checking out the other scores happening around the courts. We've got the Sparks over the GWS Fury, currently leading by 1 goal, 33-32. The Panthers are up over the Manly Warringah Sapphires, 39-34. So that's a really big result if they can keep in front. And in the last game happening on court 3, United are leading the Erna Hawks, 43-36. Another really big result if they can hang on to that lead. Of course, Manly and Erna in the first and second spot on the ladder. So they lead by 16, the Heart, and Taylor will now make it 50. This is going to be a really high-scoring game. I should note that Kylie Leembruggen has moved back to the bench. No, Taylor coming back on after the break. And goal shooter. Everyone else in the Central Coast remains unchanged. We've got Braden Quince back on for the Sutherland Stingrays. Meaning Laura Davenport is back on the bench and Mel Talent moves back into goal shooter. And the rest of the mid-quarters and the defenders are the same as they were in the third quarter. Bit of a wayward pass. Demi Evans, quick work, passing and offloading with the drive. Taylor. Mistake with that one. You could see as soon as she let it go, she regretted it. Gorman Brown just able to pull that longer ball in from Mel Talent. Quince now in front. Lovely shot. She's really accurate, Braden Quince. He must have needed a rest of some sort to come off. Make no sense to change her considering she's been so accurate. Apart from being able to get around the defenders too. And 2 shooters from Central Coast are happy with that one. Gorman Brown straight out for the centre pass. Well, Talent popping up to the top of the circle and out. Quick work. Lily Gorman Brown feeding to Talent, and she puts it up and into the net. Walsh working hard. Edge of the circle, Kessler. Split stance from Taylor. Got another shot. Something on the court. Just pop through the back of Demi Evans' legs. Some interference of some sort though. Getting the ball back. Taylor just finishing that one off. 56-36. So there's 20 points difference between these two sides now. Remember, the Sutherland Stingrays are in 4th spot. And the Central Coast are in 5th. So a win tonight won't be enough to push Central Coast into that top 4. But it's a huge step in the right direction and will give them a lot of confidence when they face their next opponent next week, which will be another top 4 opponent. Gorman Brown doing a lot of the work on the edge of the court. Maddie Hay doing well to keep that in play. Toes on the edge of the line. Quince jumping up, pulling the ball in. Little bubble on the head for Kessler as she took that ball. And we'll see Taylor, as she has done all night, shooting. She's been very dominant. And Amy Wild stepped up to the plate when she's needed to. Lovely intercept from Roger. Someone else that's been great all night. There's just been a lot of hard work done all across the court for the Heart. Well, Talent way out of the circle. Laura Roger, hand to it. Using the outside arm to pull it in. Oh, wayward pass. A little bit of a waste. No-look pass from Kessler to Taylor. And she'll wish she did look, because Sutherland was straight onto it. Now they've come up with a free pass. Maguire to Quince. Roman Brown to Hay, up over to Mel Talent, underneath the post. £20 still the difference. We've got 6 minutes on the clock. Lovely drive by Mel Talent around the outskirts. Central Coast have done well to just hang on to the ball that fraction longer. Make a really calculated pass, assessing all the options. Seeing a change. Walsh is coming off. One of the Rodwell sisters is coming on. Jasmine Rodwell, who's been sitting on the bench to help out the last few weeks with the Central Coast Heart. Emily Lang, unfortunately out of the season with an injury, and she was taken on as an injury replacement, so that's really bad luck for the Central Coast, but also awful news for Emily Lang. And Demi Evans has really stepped up in her absence, but Jasmine Rodwell, who as I mentioned has been sitting on the bench to help out the last few weeks, was a training partner with the under-20s last year. This year she made the New South Wales 17s and under squad. So there's been a positive side come out of Lang's injury in that they've been able to give some of those younger girls a go and some exposure. So Sutherland still behind by 21 goals at this stage, and they actually had a hit out against a men's team this week, which Coach Maria Lynch thinks had helped them focus on what they needed to do. And they're very aware that the other teams always lift against them because they've got a big target on their back as last year's champs. And unfortunately, that dominance has come unstuck tonight for them. It's the third consecutive win for the Central Coast, who are really playing like it's a playoff series. And they understand how critical points are in this stage of the competition. Amber Cross was a little bit worried that those 3 games they lost by a goal each consecutively would come back to haunt them if they can keep this dominance up next game. And the effort, they should be able to make the semis this year. Revenant's just coming out to get the ball and leaving Mel Talent free. Let's keep an eye on your player at all times. Carly Leenbruggen has come back on in goal shooter. See Mel Taylor just poking her eye on the side of the court. So there might be something going on there. Roger coming up with the ball again. I'd love to know how many intercepts she's taken tonight. And Quince, just as we're talking about her, still the ball's back off her. Hey, Talent in the pocket. Hey. Mel Talent's had to pop out. Oh, fantastic work. Not only from Roger to get onto that ball, but Grevenitz just guiding her where she needed to go with the yelling. Some good connections and partnerships happening in the side. And that's been the difference here tonight. With 40 seconds on the clock. There's 20 points difference. Ten seconds to go. And that'll be the end of it. 65-44. The Central Coast Heart have beaten the Stingrays, and it's been a really good game. The underdogs on top in the end. We'll be back in a moment with a player interview and a wrap of the match. We've just watched a really good game between the Central Coast Heart and the Sutherland Stingrays here on the show court, where the Heart got up. They might have been the underdogs, but they got up in the end, 65-44. And we've got Laura Roger, who's a defender for the Central Coast Heart, with us. Laura, what do you say about that game? I don't think that you guys would have expected to win, considering where Sutherland were on the ladder.
Yeah, no, we went out there just absolutely ready to go. We knew that they were going to bring it, and we just had to bring it even more. In that third quarter, we just, they started to come up really strongly, and we just had to keep our heads high and strong, and we just had to keep fighting back to keep that score difference.
And they got up over you by 1 goal the last time you played in the third round. To come away almost 20 points, well, more than 21 points in total over them, that's incredible, isn't it, to turn it around?
Yeah, it was an absolutely amazing game. Both teams brought it, and it was just such a fight right till the end. And it was just amazing.
So it might be the night of the underdog, actually, because looking at the other games, on court 1, GWS got up over the UTS St George Sparks. That was 7-3. The Panthers got up over the Manly Warringah Sapphires, 51-47 on court 2, 6v2. And North Shore United got up over the Urner Hawks, 56-49 on court 3. So some really big changes there, and maybe we'll see some difference in the ladder as a result. Now you're playing Manly, who were in first position coming into this round next week. What are your thoughts ahead of that game?
Oh, we've just got to go out there with just another strong mindset again, and just be prepared for them to bring it just as much as we want to win.
Well, congrats on the win tonight, Laura Roger. You were a massive standout, did very well in defence. Good luck for next week and the rest of the competition.
Awesome, thank you.
Yes. We'll be back with the under-20s after this game at 8:40, so stay tuned to Bar TV. We'll be right here on the show court, ready and waiting.